Hello, Philip, Heather, and your children, Kira, Wilson, and Ronan. Also, hello to members of Shaftesbury RP and Eastern Presbytery. My name is Stephen Parnell. I am a deacon at Shawnee Reformed Presbyterian Church and also a member of our search committee. And as you know, we've made a call to you, Philip, and to your family to come and be our next pastor. So I'd like to communicate several points that lead me to believe that God is calling you to this position. And these are things that I would like for you to prayerfully consider. First off, I'd like to describe the qualifications that I communicated to members of the congregation that I feel are good fits for Shawnee RP. First and foremost, you have a real heart for the gospel. That underscores everything that you do and is essential to your ministry. And I think you'll see that as a recurring theme throughout my talk. Second, you have gifts in the ability of administration and discipleship and outreach and encouraging others to use their gifts. These are all essential gifts for anyone in the pastoral ministry, but I believe that they're particularly important as needs for Shawnee RP. You also have ability in the area of understanding the Presbyterian form of government and respecting the law and order of the church. And you communicated a desire to work with your session and to work with the higher courts of the church. The RPCNA is a growing denomination, and we're facing a number of challenges. And I believe that this is an essential trait that you could bring to our denomination. I also feel like you have a true gift in your ability to preach as well. You're a great preacher, and you've also expressed a desire to improve in this area. And this is a particular strength, I feel, of Shawnee Reformed Presbyterian Church. Our elders are very committed to preaching of the word, and I think that they would be very good at helping you develop this gift. There are also a number of other local Reformed congregations and also RPCNA congregations in close proximity. So you would have opportunity to interact with other pastors and other congregations. And this is not only a benefit to you, but also to your family to grow up with so many other families close by. You also have an asset in your wife, Heather. The committee, during your second visit, made it a point to interact with Heather over the phone. And we were all impressed, Heather, with your maturity and your desire to be discipled and to bring ministry of disciple to the church and also to the ladies of the church. We really appreciated that, and it's a real strength to Philip's ministry as well. So next, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our congregation. We're committed in various areas. First, we're committed to instruction from the Lord, and you see evidence for this in our Sunday worship and also in our Christian education program that covers our children from the youngest to our adults of the oldest. We also are committed to fellowship and to discipleship, and you see evidence for this in our weekly meetings and other groups, discipleship groups and small groups and special emphasis groups that will meet throughout the week and throughout the month. We're also committed to outreach with 2 signature events that we host for our neighborhood and for our community each year. And this is another area where we believe that you have particular gifts that you could bring to this congregation. Now, as our pastor, you would be involved in all aspects of the ministry here at Shawnee RP, and you would work closely with the deacons in the session and the members of the congregation to improve and grow us in our spiritual gifts. We're also committed to you and your family. We recognize that there are some particular challenges that would face you in moving your family across the ocean. And I want to assure you that our deacon board is hard at work to try to understand what those challenges are and prepare for potential solutions should you choose to accept the call here. I'd also like to tell you a little bit more about the history of our congregation and also show you a picture. Kevin, if you can zoom in here. This is a current photo of our congregation, and I'm showing this to you for 2 reasons. First off, I like you to see all the kids and make a message and appeal to your children. It's a little bit scary to move far away from your home, especially such a place that's even a different country. But all of these kids here are very excited about the potential of you moving to Kansas City and being a part of this congregation. And they're looking forward to welcoming you to be a part of this church and community. I'm also showing you this picture because I'd like to tell you that about 15 to 20 years ago, our congregation had about 8 to 10 kids and none under the age of 4. And this congregation made a specific prayer for more children and more young families. And I think you can see from that picture how God has answered that prayer. So our current prayer is to expand our ministry here in the Kansas City area. We'd like to consider having 2 pastors, or perhaps growing this local church, or even planting a new work. We don't know how God exactly is going to answer that prayer, but we know that He does answer prayers, and we hope that you will see the excitement that we have and would like to be a part of that ministry. Now, finally, I'd like to conclude with a personal appeal to you, Philip. During our conversation during your first visit, we spoke about the intersection of the gospel and the public life. In particular, we talked about how this pertains to involvement of Christians in the public school, but it can really pertain to any part of life, because we see a steady encroachment of a secular humanism on the authority of the Word of God. And it's very clear to me from our interactions, from our conversation, that you recognize that this is a spiritual battle that we cannot afford to walk away from. The United States owes much of its spiritual heritage to Ireland and to the RP Church in Ireland. So in many ways, I view your calling here as one to be a missionary pastor to our congregation. And we do recognize that we're calling you away from another congregation, Shaftesbury Square, and away from your homeland as well. But our need for the gospel here in the United States is great. And I believe that you and your family would be an ideal fit here to minister in this community in Kansas City, in Shawnee, at Shawnee RP. We hope that you'll prayerfully consider this call. We know that you and Heather have been doing this and will continue to do so. All we ask is that you listen and follow God's will, and may He receive all the glory in whatever your decision is. Thank you very much.